I believe it was a wise man who once said, and I quote, 논리가 있어도 있는 게 아니다. 논리가 없어도 없는 게 아니다.
Hold on, you can't just quote Wonu. They could cancel us.
But they won't. They won't. I mean, like, we won't blow up that quick, right? And besides, it's kind of important to what I'm trying to say today. And like, to be fair, I was gonna give him all the credit at the end.
Just let me finish.
So, as Crystal had so illustriously told us, that man was John Wonu from the iconic K-pop group 17. And on today's very special episode of Cut to the Chase, we will be discussing a case that really shows us how perspective and logic go hand in hand. Because it is just as John Wonu said, just because something seems logical doesn't mean that there's a sound logic behind it. Similarly, just because something seems illogical doesn't mean that it's completely devoid of some logic. I'm Asmita.
I'm Crystal.
And I'm Alicia. So together we are Ace Entertainment. Welcome back to our podcast, Cut to the Chase, where we talk about true crime, unsolved mysteries, and generally all things strange and disturbing.
Today's episode is unique due to the complex nature of the case we will be dealing with. Do bear in mind that the subject matter for today can be quite graphic and includes mentions of suicide, so listener discretion is advised.
So there are two sides to every story, or at least two sides, I guess. To do justice to both sides of today's story, we will be having a little debate night of our own. So please don't cancel us, Going 17 producers. We really love and respect what you guys do. We could never, we only hope to dream to get on you guys' level, mainly because we're short like 10 people.
We love you, not PD.
But yeah, please don't cancel us.
Yeah, we're so young and new, and we just started.
Before we get carried away, let's cut to the chase. Wait. Do you guys want to introduce it or should I introduce it?
Nah, you can do it. We're gonna stick to the important stuff.
Wow. Okay. Such blatant disrespect aside, episode is about, I really hope I pronounce her name right, Leonarda Cianciulli. I'm so sorry if I pronounce that incorrectly. Please don't come for me, Italian people. Love you guys. But otherwise known as the Soapmaker of Correggio. And with that, you guys have the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna go first and tell the story the way Leonardo herself intended it, aka the right way.
Wow.
Let's go, Crystal.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love you guys. Little background info first. Leonardo was born in Montella, which was in the province of Avellino in the Kingdom of Italy in around 1893-94. Little is known about her circumstances as a child. Even her exact date of birth isn't known. Neither are her parents. However, she did claim to be a child born of and by consequence, she also claimed that her mother was not fond of her.
Yeah, yikes. Was she like abused or something?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't explicitly stated anywhere, but then again, I did try to get my hands on her memoir, but I couldn't. And even if I could, it's all in Italian. And, despite being a polyglot, like Italian isn't something you just pick up, So that the memoir would probably shed a little more light on the situation.
Okay, fair enough.
I see.
But she
Elaborate.
Okay. But she did have an unhappy childhood, leading her to attempt suicide twice as a child. In her early 20s, around 1914 to 1917, she got married to a registry office clerk named Raphael Pansardi. I hope I said that right. Against the wishes of her parents. They were very cross with her and they refused to bless her marriage because they wanted her to marry another man of their choosing. Apparently, her mother went as far as to curse their union because of how opposed she was to their marriage and how upset she was that Leonarda had married someone against her wishes. Well, curse or not, Raphael did turn out to be a rather insatiable alcoholic. Leonardo's words, not mine. Okay, quoted. Um, Nonetheless, from 1921 to 1930, the couple did move around quite a bit. Firstly, to Loria Potenza, which was Raphael's town, in 1921. They lived there relatively peacefully for 6 years ish. Then it all changed in 1927 when Leonardo was arrested and imprisoned for fraud.
What? What did she do?
We don't know. That's just what most sources say. It just ends at fraud. I don't know what fraud, but like just fraud.
Okay, that's kind of anticlimactic, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
Agree.
Yeah, it must have taken quite a hit on their reputations since most sources say they moved again post Leonardo's release. There's a bit of uncertainty regarding where exactly they moved, but most do say it was to Lacedonia, Avellino, while some say it was to Lariano, Alpha Irpinia. Now, on the 23rd of July, 1930, the first Irpinia earthquake hit Italy, and it was absolutely devastating.
Hold on, like the first?
Well, hold on on that.
Yeah, there were two Irpinia earthquakes, or at least only two to my knowledge, one in 1930 and another in 1980.
Okay, I see.
Ultimately, the uncertainty
Sure.
surrounding where the couple was living after their move in 1927 wouldn't make much of a difference in 1930 because the area affected by the earthquake covered 6,300 square kilometers, including parts of Irpinia and Avellino. The latter experienced a much high intensity, with the greatest intensity at Lacedonia among other towns. Therefore, it is no coincidence that three-fourths of the recorded deaths, which totaled to 1,404 people, were from the
Yikes.
province of Avellino. This massive earthquake destroyed several houses, and the Pansardi's house was one of them, resulting in their third move to Reggio Emilia. Following their settling down, Leonardo opened a humble shop and became popular, well-respected member of the community.
Hold on. A shop? What did she sell?
Most likely soap and or sweets, but we'll get into that. You know, it could have just been all soap.
Ooh, interesting.
That's pretty on brand.
An important thing to note is that her reputation and her house were not the only things that she had lost within these years. Leonarda was struggling with her mental state as well. This paranoia had just seeded in her mind ever since her mother cursed her. And losing her house, and in a sense, her husband too, to alcohol, it was very draining on her. And she couldn't help but think that all these bad things were happening to her as a result of the curse. But even as a girl, Leonarda was unnecessarily anxious as to what her future would look like. When she first consulted a fortune teller, they told her that she would marry and have several children, but all of her kids would die.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
this was especially frightening to Leonarda, since for the most part, that prediction had come true. After her marriage, Leonarda conceived 17 times, out of which only 4 children survived.
17?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
And it should come as no surprise that Leonarda was fiercely protective of them.
Whoa. Okay. Hold on. What happened to the other kids?
I was just getting to that. She miscarried 3 times and the remaining 10 died in their youth.
Oh,
Dude, it's gotta be super harsh. Like, she must have felt horrible.
I know, that's so unfortunate.
But like I feel like it's also like due to, when you go and see a fortune teller and then I don't know, you kind of manifest it because you're like, you kind of like anticipate what the fortune teller told you. Like, you're just like,
Yes,
yeah,
Mm,
I agree. I agree. I agree.
I think you
yeah,
subconsciously start making that happen because you know
right.
that it's gonna happen anyway.
Right. Sometimes, like things like this, you should just not know. You should just be in the dark about things like this, You should just go with the
Mm-hmm.
flow, not try to know what's going to happen in your future by going to a fortune teller and stuff.
Yeah. And I think that is the fact that it may sort of change the future as well. I mean, I believe in that.
Yes,
Not
I
really
agree.
change, but like
Mm-hmm.
affects, impacts one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're so
You're
right.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, mothers aren't supposed to outlive their children. And those 13 kids, their deaths really did a number on Leonarda. They only served as fuel to the fire that was Leonarda's paranoia. Later on, down the line, she also visited a Romani to have her palms read. Oh my God, has she never learned? Like okay, anyway. After reading her palms, the Romani told her, "In your right hand, I see prison, and in your left hand, I see criminal asylum."
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
That is such an on-the-nose thing to say. She really got specific.
Yeah. So
For real, girl. Okay, it was so specific. And let me just tell you right now, a lot of this, the Lulu, could have been used to find a Solulu, in my opinion. But Leonardo was just not connecting the dots. Girly just ain't seen this shit. She ain't seen it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you go and you want to find out your future right, and you get these signs, shouldn't you perhaps take preventive measures
Exactly.
respectfully?
Why would you go and see your future like furthermore like adding to the last time?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but like yeah, a lot of people do that.
Dumb bitches.
Go for readings. But yeah, anyways, continue.
Time skip, it's 1939, and pretty much the whole world is preparing for the beginning of World War II. Leonardo's eldest son and favorite child, Giuseppe, oh God, sorry.
Yeah, that is a name. That is a name for sure.
Giuseppe wanted to enlist in the army to prepare and fight in the Second World War. Keeping in mind her history and her obvious fear of losing her children again, it was no surprise that Leonardo was not best pleased with this idea. In fact, in her memoir, Leonardo claimed that a quote, Black Madonna appeared in her dream and asked her for the human lives of innocents in exchange for the lives of her children.
What?
What? Okay. Well,
That was the paralysis demon, babe. I don't know.
that's scary, actually.
Mhm.
For real.
It does sound like a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Conveniently get like a certain, apparition appearing in your dreams, and the apparition is just like, do
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to save your kids,
Like
kill others.
you actually cannot buy that, right? Like it's just a dream. Or maybe, some people say dreams are like a sign, but like still,
We can't know for sure whether it was true or not. I'm just here telling her side of the story. So, yeah, after that dream, she sought to protect her kids at all costs, even if it was by way of human sacrifice. Which brings us to the
Whoa.
murder of Faustina Setti. Faustina was a local spinster, and long story short, Leonardo promised to find her a husband.
The blatant disregard for feminism aside, what's the long story long?
Well, it's not confirmed which one happened, but some sources say that Faustina asked Leonardo to help set her up, and some say that Leonardo sought out Faustina herself and inserted herself into her life, claiming she could help set her up with someone.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, one fine day, Leonardo meets up with Faustina and is all, don't tell anyone, but there's a dude in Pola, and I think he'd love to meet you.
But why?
Girl beats me. I don't know why.
Because she's scheming. She's like, stroking the cat moment, She's in that era.
Her scheming.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So they spoke a bit more and came to the conclusion that Faustina would depart to Pola in a couple of days to meet this man. Leonardo convinced her to use the days prior to her departure to write letters to her friends and family, telling them that she was doing well. Leonardo told her that she herself would mail those letters from Correggio so that Faustina could have her privacy on her little romantic excursion.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
That,
You see where it's getting here, right? Like, obviously.
Oh God, I hope I'm wrong. There ain't no way.
Yeah, eventually the day comes around on which Faustina was ready to leave. Oh my God. Okay, but before leaving town, she had to drop off the letters at Leonardo's place. And that's when things really take a turn for the worse, at least for Seti. To toast her new bright future, Leonardo offered Seti some spiked wine, which knocked her out pretty quick. After which Leonardo used an axe to hack Seti's body into 9 pieces and collected her blood in a basin.
What?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That she really she went from spiking wine to becoming an axe murderer.
Exactly. Leonardo does not play around, bro.
What did she do with the blood? What did she do with the blood in the basin?
Yeah, no. I think I'm gonna throw up soon, but she claimed that she used the blood later on to make cookies.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah, no, I'm
That's
actually gonna throw up.
But that's just nasty.
You know that, like I mentioned, she owns the shop, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Poor customers.
oh, it took me a
In
minute,
the
but
sense
oh my
that
God.
that's not. Okay, but guys, get this. Leonarda actually received compensation for her services, quote unquote services, in the form of Seti's entire life savings, which totaled to 30K there back then.
That poor
Wait,
that
services for
old
what?
woman.
Services for what?
I say, wait, hold on. You're saying that she got payment for helping
Yeah.
this woman find an imaginary man that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She
That threw me
literally
off.
got wrong.
Yes, that threw me off a bit.
And no one suspected a thing. Why? Because remember the letter she told Seti to write? Leonardo did mail them. Yeah, intermittently, so that sorry, my brain rot just set in. I couldn't read the word. Anyway, intermittently, so that none of Seti's family members or friends would suspect that she had been brutally murdered.
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay.
I called it. I saw it coming. I knew it.
Yeah, you made that pretty obvious earlier, but sure. Yeah.
Like, I gotta give it to her though. I gotta give it to her. Like, what a stroke of criminal genius. It's hard to believe like this is her first rodeo, you know?
I mean, like she was charged with fraud before, right? So technically not her first crime. Experienced criminal genius.
Oh my God, she built that XP. She learned from her mistakes.
No more jail for her. No second time.
Real. She did the preventive measures. She went the extra mile.
It's giving when spiders learn from their other fellow spider members when you kill them.
Yeah.
Right? But like in all seriousness, to all our viewers, we're not insane.
I mean, listen, I have to see this from a very neutral standpoint. Okay, I don't condone this behavior, but I have to give credit where it's due, respectfully.
And we're done with, her first victim. Now we're moving on to her second victim, who is a woman named Francesca Suavi, whom she killed on the 5th of September 1940. Aside from the ruse she used to insert herself into Suavi's life, everything, and I mean everything, about her MO was the same. Exactly the same.
So what was the ruse?
Leonarda told her that she had found a job for her at a girls' school in Piacenza, and she managed to receive 3K lire from Suavi as well. And once again, another woman disappeared overnight from Correggio, and no one bat an eye. No one bat an eye.
The pattern, it's like she seeks out women who, like, she knows aren't gonna be missed. No one's gonna care if they disappear.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's her victimology. Like, in summary, Leonardo preyed on older women who lived alone and dreamt of leading a more fulfilling life outside of Correggio.
She was not a girl's girl. She literally used their dreams against them. That is
We only support girls.
Yeah,
real. We only support girls over here.
for one of the girls. So there was some escalation after Suavi in terms of her cooldown period. Suavi was murdered on the 5th of September 1940, and she would murder her third victim on the 30th of the same month. This time it was a soprano singer who is said to have performed at La Scala, which is this famous opera house in Milan, Virginia Cacioppo. Obviously, things must not have been going well for the singer, and she was in need of a job. Leonarda had just the right one for her. Leonarda spoke to Virginia and told her about this mysterious impresario who was in the market for an assistant and a former singer. Surely Virginia would know her way around a theater.
Hold on. What the heck is an impresario? Impresario?
Impresario, it's basically a dude who organizes and sponsors plays and operas in theater. But yeah.
So it's like a producer.
Yeah, basically. Leonarda told her that this producer was in Florence and to once again write a bunch of letters and drop it off with her before her departure. The rest was the same, spiked wine followed by axe murdering, but there was one key difference. After hacking the singer's body into pieces, she turned her into soap.
Soapmaker.
I mean, I knew this was coming, but that sounds so unreal. That sounds how? Why?
Gotta give it that. It's creative.
Fair enough. You make a valid point.
Imagine selling soaps with different bodies.
I know. Doesn't that make you dirtier? If you clean your house.
You know how they say everyone has a body scent of their own?
Oh.
Rotten body scent in this case lah, cause it's dead.
Yeah, no, just putting it out there. I don't know. But what if she preserves them so they don't reek?
Okay, true.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mummify it.
As Leonardo said it, this woman was significantly bigger than her previous two victims. So she claims that this corpse was ideal to make soap with. Yeah,
And that just works?
She didn't stop there. She also claimed to cannibalize her body, and she received around 50K lire and jewels as payment for her services. Some sources
Whoa.
public bonds,
What on earth?
even going on to mention that she sold the victims' clothes and shoes for extra cash.
my gosh, she's hungry for the money.
She's manages to get away with it. Again, like what okay, be so for real. Those clothes could not have been her size. Like, come on. There's like connect the dots. Connect the, come on. Wake up.
Actually, she didn't.
정신 차려.
Real.
Real. Oh my god. Okay, but like she didn't though. She didn't get away with it. Not this time. Yeah, so you see, Virginia's sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law? In-law?
She was married.
She was a widow.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
Mhm. So the sister-in-law was in town and she was not buying it. Firstly, she did not believe that the letters she was receiving were sent by Virginia. And she claims that she saw with her own two eyes Virginia entering the Pensardi house on the date of her departure to Florence.
Oh snap! We got an eyewitness over here. Yeah.
But yeah, naturally, the sister-in-law reports Virginia's disappearance to the Reggio Emilia police, who promptly conduct an investigation. Leonarda refused to confess to involvement initially, but when the police began to suspect her darling son, Giuseppe, she confessed to everything.
Wow. Wow. That was whoa. I thought she'd be like wow. I have to give it to her for like those maternal instincts. Like she was
I
not
know,
a tough.
right? Yeah,
Mm.
she's insane. Not an inch of self-preservation. Like, yeah, when it comes to these things. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was 1946 when Leonarda was tried for murder. What? Okay, for murder of Reggio Emilia. Oh, sorry, for murder in Reggio Emilia. She was obviously found guilty in this short trial, after which she was sentenced to 30 years in prison and 3 years in criminal asylum. Just
What? What? No. Excuse me, what?
That's
Wow.
like word for word, like exactly what the Romani told her, right?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh my God.
talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? While she was incarcerated, she wrote a memoir that was like 750 pages long, titled Confessions of a Bitter Soul, detailing her murders and why she did what she did.
Wow. That's a really edgy name.
Now, this memoir was where a lot of people got their source material from, and it's since been studied to try to understand her mental state a little better. And here is something I found fascinating. After experts dissected her memoir, they suspect that Leonardo may have had an alternate personality disorder, like an alter ego, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And they could tell because of the language in the memoir, in which she sometimes almost spoke to herself, but she called herself either Nardina or Norina, which were her nicknames as a child, given to her by her mother and father, respectively. And as they got more into the memoir, they concluded that Leonarda was the mother that suffered, but Nardina Norina was like the woman that acted, and she was the one unafraid to get her hands dirty to protect her kids. And because of this, combined with her hyper superstitious paranoid personality, sources think that her delusions distorted her grasp on reality, which is why she, to a certain extent, couldn't distinguish good from evil.
Please, that's a complete load.
She has a lot. She has a lot going on. I will not deny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you'll get your turn. I'm almost done. So towards the end of her life, The sister that took care of her did say that Leonarda was skilled at making sweets because although no one else ever dared to try what she made, the same sister did, and she said they were delicious.
Why would you do that?
Beats me, bro. I don't know.
Why would yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and in any case, on the 15th of October 1970, Leonarda died of cerebral apoplexy in the Women's Criminal Asylum in Pozzuoli. However, sources do vary again, and although most do say she did have a horrid stroke from which she never truly recovered, her actual cause of death was sodium hydroxide vapor poisoning.
Hydroxide vapor poisoning. How on earth does that even happen?
I mean, well, she was a soap maker, and at the end of the day, like, that could have caused, the prolonged exposure and stuff,
Beware of soaps, guys.
Yeah, literally scary. Trauma.
Yeah. Can I say drama but as well? We get copyrighted. I don't know. I kind of want to
That is where I rest my case. That was Leonarda's story in her own words. Thank you.
Okay, so finally it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like it sounds like I couldn't wait to speak, but no. Thank you, Crystal, for your side of the case. But I'm gonna burst y'all's bubbles. So too bad. But although what most of what Crystal said is true, I cannot help but think that like certain aspects of her story seems like something out of a myth, like it's like a bit unreal, like it's from like a fantasy book. So like it's no surprise that there's a lot of like skepticism surrounding Leonarda's actual motive, true mental state and aspects of her MO. Sorry. And like there's also a pretty valid reason as to why there's such disbelief surrounding her case. Crystal, you said it yourself. Most of what is known about the so-called Soapmaker case is taken from like what Leonarda has written in her memoir herself. So it's basically from her point of view, and you don't know how credible that is because she has like the creative liberty to like make up anything about what actually happened. But is that like the truth? And is that really what happened? We're not so sure.
Ah.
So valid, Alicia. What the heck?
Mm.
Like I know I did say, I was on, that side of the case, but Alicia does have a point.
So yeah, Crystal is legit too.
We believe in like equality, both sides,
Thank
all the
Yes.
sides.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Civilized people.
True. We're intelligent people.
Yes. So
Yes.
real, so valid.
For real. Be so for real. But anyway, let me begin with her MO because like what makes the fearsome soap maker of Correggio a soap maker, quote unquote soap maker? A lot of people who actually investigated her case have concluded that maybe she never actually turned any of her victims to soap.
What?
No, like I'm being so for real. So it's actually not that easy to turn flesh or humans into soap. But okay, I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's possible, and Leonarda is kind of wild, kind of cray, so it may be possible, but it's actually really not easy. So like it's actually literally is basically Leonarda claimed in her memoir that she chucked pieces of Virginia's dismembered body into a pot with sodium hydroxide and poof, then it's like a soap already. So like that sounds a bit too easy, and it's actually really much easier said than done lah. So even though I've never made soap, obviously I've never made soap before, but I think I know it's not that I think I know. I know for a fact that it's not that simple. In fact, I did a little rudimentary research, and it's like you actually have to like at least cut off or like separate the flesh from the fats. And then after that, after you separate them, then you use the fats and mix it with sodium hydroxide to make the soap. Yeah.
Come on, that's just semantics. Just because she didn't specify the steps doesn't mean she didn't do it.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. But because like the investigation, they inspected two things. It was basically like the cauldron. Okay, they first inspect the cauldron in which she claims to have turned her victims into soap, and secondly, the Pansardi house cesspool. Yeah.
Why the cesspool?
Ugh, this sounds gross.
Mm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because
Ugh.
dun, 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 that's where she dumped the body.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
Oh, ew. I regret asking.
Girl, why did you ask?
I had to know. I had to like. I'm impulsive, okay? Let's move on.
Yeah, more info the better. So they did find evidence in a cesspool connecting her to the murders, like hair, piece of skull, dentures with 14 teeth, which was like really important because Sadie, which was one of the victims, she wore dentures with 14 teeth, so it matches up lah. But the one thing that they didn't find any trace in either of those places is the sodium hydroxide that is needed to do what? So, yeah. So the one thing that she would have really needed to turn someone into soap was sodium hydroxide, but it was not found. But instead, they found really high amounts of calcium oxide.
Okay, so like I know I took chemistry and all, but it wasn't really my strong suit and I kind of hated it and we had a bad teacher. Back me up here.
Well,
Are we allowed to say names?
we all had the same experience.
Are we allowed to say names? Like,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But technically, she has a very common name lah.
Okay, her name was Karen. Guys, boycott her if you see her and get her fired. Thank you. Okay, then what does calcium oxide do?
So it's a pretty common misconception that calcium oxide helps dissolve and dispose of dead bodies, but that's actually not true. So in fact, calcium oxide actually helps preserve the body to an extent, and it mummify it. So basically, I don't know what she's trying to do, but maybe she just wants the body to last longer. So yeah, she used calcium oxide. And then it will quickly dehydrate the corpse, causing it to shrink. But it will it must sand off any rotting flesh. And it must the sand very effectively as well. So which is how the bodies were hidden super well and without anybody actually realizing it, because dead bodies really actually give off a very stinky smell. But yeah, maybe with the help of calcium oxide, it's not that bad. So maybe it won't be exposed as quickly. So that
decayed.
Yeah.
Maybe it decayed slower than it should be. Slow decaying process.
Then in that meantime, maybe she can think of what to do, how to properly dispose of the body.
If you think about it, right? Why though? Why was she keeping it? To make soap, right?
Exactly.
To make soap.
She could have just panicked after she made this body into 1,000 tiny pieces, and she's just oh my God, what do I do? And she's just I don't know. So she just mixes them with a bunch of different chemicals, and then and then she dumps that into this pool.
Hey,
Yeah.
you never know for sure. Okay, this is just a speculation.
But still, maybe this proves that she's not as smart as we thought, because at the end of the day, after the investigation, the authorities did find a lot of evidence.
She wasn't as slick. And like Crystal said, right? It's all speculation. It could have been that she was just a total scammer.
Yeah. So that one we can't know for sure. But yeah, another thing people speculate is that Juice P was a lot more involved than one would think in the murders.
Oh,
Drama. Girls. Okay.
Like,
right.
obviously, there's nothing to implicate him because his mother already confessed to everything. So,
And
yeah,
like
but in
everything
that
happened
we
in like the
don't know.
1900s.
Mm.
Wait,
Yeah, and that, but according to some sources, he does act pretty suspicious. Suspicious mom, suspicious son. But anyways, especially during the investigation, because first off, he was super rude towards the police and law enforcement officers when he was like questioned. So that's a red flag. And not to mention, he was actually provided not one, but two alibis for his mother to help defend her. But ultimately, they did not hold up. It seems like at last they're still proven false. Yeah.
damn.
That's I'm sorry. That's so humiliating. I can't.
Right? The secondhand embarrassment. I can't. Ugh.
This. Mm.
Alright. So, okay, on like yeah, extra story is that there was also this maid called Nella who worked at their house and she confessed to having seen blood on like Giuseppe's suitcase, which he used quite often when he used to go to Milan on like quote unquote assignment. Plot twist.
Hold on. They had a maid?
Yeah, that brings me to my next point. Apparently they did. But like yeah, the next point is motive. So after the earthquake in 1930, when the family relocated to Correggio, they were poor. And at that point, Raphael, her husband, was the only earning member of the family, and he was supporting Leonarda and their then three kids. Oh, by the way, Raphael, he never took to drinking. Yeah,
What?
at least
I
that's
mean,
what some sources claim. But after a few years, their situation improved a lot. So they got a house, a permanent maid. And in fact, Leonarda was actually fond of this lifestyle. And apparently, she loved going to salons, boutiques. And this improvement in their standard of living was all because Leonarda was a hustler. She sold some
wow.
stuff, she raised a round of funding to try and support her family. So she's like a family person, I guess. Yeah.
She's
But
a girl
ultimately,
boss. I mean, wait, I
yeah,
don't think
girl boss.
we'd be calling a serial killer a girl boss, but like still.
The breadwinner.
Yes. But ultimately, she had gotten like a taste of that lifestyle and she was not prepared to give up. That's the danger of living, guys. When you like, how to say, when you experience something that is like above your level, and then I don't think you can actually come back to your level because you already experienced something better. So this
Mm.
was Leonarda. Basically, she got a taste of something better and she was like, why am I living such a normal life now? It doesn't feel right. So this is why lots of people actually speculate that she actually killed for financial gain so that she can sustain her previous lifestyle.
I mean, like I get it. Like once you get like, I'm not a capitalist, but like if I was rich, then I probably would be a capitalist. She would still care about her children, right?
Yeah, I know she
Right?
did. Okay, yeah, I know she did. Obviously, I mean, she didn't let her son go to jail, so like irrespective of whether he was involved or not. So she like basically she just loved her son so care about her son so much to like bail him out from jail. Not bail him out, but like didn't let him go to
You took the
jail.
blame.
So yeah, ultimately when she was caught, she just cried wolf. And in fact, some people claim she
Mm.
wasn't even a child of it was much easier to pretend to be like a troubled mother looking out for her children than to admit that she killed this woman selfishly for their money. So she typed out like a ridiculously long memoir filled with a gospel and blatant exaggeration so she could fool the world and fuel the myth of the soap maker. So yeah, since there are several artifacts or rather weapons that she used in her murders that are on display in the Criminology Museum in Rome, and those include a boiling pot and axes.
Okay, that's kind of metal, not gonna lie.
A
That pot, like
criminology
she
museum
could have,
sounds so
you know.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
sounds really interesting. Like I've always
Yeah.
wanted to go to Rome just because the whole architecture and everything. But this could be, added to my itinerary.
Maybe let's go there
Oh my
one day,
God.
guys.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yes.
Together.
episode, like
Field
little
trip.
vlog.
We go to the Criminology Museum in Rome.
Yeah, then take videos of her boiling pot and accents.
Throwback to our podcast about Leonarda.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that, I rest my case. What do y'all think?
I think neither of the sides are extremely outlandish, is what I think. It could very easily be either, you know? Could be both.
No, but I feel yeah, that was what I was gonna just say. I was gonna say it could be interrelated, you know. It could just be one side as a whole instead of two separate sides.
Yeah, literally. She could have like been that Delulu, but she could have also like, killed for money at the same time, you know? You never know what goes on in a woman's head or
Again,
in
like if anyone knows, let us know in the comments about, the whole, psychoanalysis of her, and like her memoir and stuff, where they
yeah,
like
especially if this reaches someone or like if this reaches Italy, because a lot of like I reckon because you said that her memoir was also in Italian, right? I
yeah.
mean, yeah, if you guys have like read that, then that would be super cool and you should like let us know what you guys think of it. If this reaches Italy, hopefully it will. You guys should like read that or like, look into it a little bit and tell us what you guys think. And or also maybe which side of the story you guys choose to believe. Like maybe it's like, maybe it's Crystal's argument, maybe it's Alicia's argument, maybe it's both, or maybe it's neither. It happened so long ago. As always, let us know what you think, or if we missed out on anything in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, us rookies would be super grateful for any feedback or constructive criticism you'd have for us.
Wait, I have something to add.
Yeah.
So, you know
Yeah,
how
go ahead.
they said that she could have like multiple personality, or like was it alter ego?
Yeah, like I think when you have like multiple personalities, you would be calling them an alter. I don't know. I've only watched Moon Knight, so yeah.
So like let us know what you think about that. Do you actually think that she had like an alter ego, or was that a calculation, or just let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. All our source material will be like linked in the description. But as you heard today, this case has different sides to it, so don't be surprised if things don't add up right away.
That will be all for today's episode. We hope it was thrilling or spooky, or at the very least, we hope you learned something new. We'll be back on Friday, so stay tuned. Yours truly, this was Ace Entertainment signing off. Until next time, bye.
Good night.
Good morning.
Have a good one. Stay safe.